Hello everyone again. Uh, Doing the second part of this video series in order to, in order to get over it. This is only one video, but I had to split it out in two because it was getting too big. The first video is like an hour or something, so yeah, and this will be at least an hour also. So uh, if it wasn't this important, I wouldn't be doing it, but this is really, really important. So, yeah, let's just continue. Let's just continue. So, he's asking now, what is the plasma? What is the plasma? Okay, let's go on here. And this is all in the model of the flat Earth. So, if you don't like flat Earth, you should not be seeing this. Question number one. What's the plasma? In the Patreon, we are going to talk a lot about the plasma. Another question. Were the Greeks dumb, or were they personifying natural phenomena as gods and stuff like that? Were they dumb? So, the Greek, they register a lot of information coded as gods and stuff like that. Is what he's saying. So, what are the differences between the globe and the flat Earth model in this question of the magnetic poles shift? Let's check it out. This is the model of the flat Earth that we are adopting to study. We have the firmament just above. He did the video. He did the video before explaining the model very, very detailed, in a very detailed way. So, yeah, he's saying that. But basically, the model is basically we have a dome of ice. Above the dome, we have the plasma. And the plasma is being held by the electromagnetic field of the Earth. And yeah, and the reflection and the reflection of the plasma, because the plasma is above the ice, but is spiraling above the ice on the top of the dome, and that's the sun is a focal point of light coming from that plasma. Okay, so that's how the model is conceived, and if you look at it, man, it has a lot of room to be true, a lot of it. So it's just an idea to entertain, and it doesn't surprise me if it's like this. So now he's just sending people to see the video where he explains the model of the flat Earth very truthfully, and yeah, and only after people seeing that video they come back here to understand what he's going to be speaking now. Okay, you went there, you watched that video, and you came back, so you are good to go. So, you have watched that video, so you know that the firmament is made out. You know the materials that the firmament is made out. He's asking. So yeah, it's ice basically. The firmament is very slow cooling, slow freezing condensed vapor basically, and that's why it's completely clear because it freezes so slowly that all the bubbles of oxygen they go away, and that's why it's clear. You can achieve that if you try to freeze something very slowly in your freezer. You get very clear ice, okay? Because all the oxygen inside just had time to went out of it. So okay, so by this moment we know what is the firmament, what is above the firmament, which is the plasma. We know what is the sun, which is a focal point of light of the plasma. So, what's above? The plasma. Exactly the same plasma that the regular science says it's the sun. Okay, and that plasma is not touching the firmament that is made out of ice. Okay, and the reason it's not touching it is because the electromagnetic field doesn't let it touch it. Okay, because when it touches, things go wrong. When the plasma touches the firmament, things go very wrong. The electromagnetic field holds the plasma above. When the magnetic field vanishes, what's going to happen? Well, the plasma is going to start touching the firmament that is made of ice. So, plasma made out of whatever, plasma, very hot, is going to be touching the firmament, which is made out of ice. What do you think is going to happen? What? But, yeah. What does the firmament will be doing if it's being touched by fire? It will melt, of course. So what we are going to watch, caused by the inversion of the magnetic poles, it will be the collapse of the firmament. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so let's start by parts. The firmament is going to collapse. The sun that we see, how is it generated? Well, it is generated by the dome, because it is a focal point of light of the plasma through the dome. Without the dome, you don't have a sun. Okay? When the firmament collapses, what's going to happen to the sun? Vanished. It's going to be night time, no sun. How much time? 3 days. But it's not going to be 100% night, because the light of the plasma is going to be lighting up the sky. Okay, you will have a reddish sky, but no sun. You don't have the sun because you don't have the firmament. Okay, before the firmament collapse, what is going to happen first? It's going to start by the north. So the most affected region will be the north. Because that's where the spiraling of the plasma starts touching the firmament, okay? So it will melt and it will hit the north hemisphere quite heavily with floods. Big floods. The more north in the north hemisphere, the more north you are, the more affected you will be with those floods. This flood is not going to be like Noah's flood, okay? It's going to be in the north part. Now the question is, till where was the ice on the last ice ages? Till where? That question the scientists know. It's more or less in the latitude of the United States, New York, maybe a little lesser than that, but it's around that latitude there. That's the limit. It's till where it gets flooded till there. Like Canada is gone. Forget it. All the countries of Northern Europe, forget it. Canada, forget it. So Norway, Finland, United Kingdom, and so on, forget it. Major flood. Not good. So question, for people that are in places that is going like me, I'm way north. Should I be worried? That's the question. Well, we have to get ready because there are some probable dates for this phenomena to happen. That this is not this doesn't come randomly. You know, there are a few dates. So in those dates, if you are smart, you just took some vacations and you protect yourself. They are holiday periods, so you can do that. But basically the north is going to flood very heavily. Now the south. The south is another problem. It's not the floods that are the problem. It's the collapsing of the dome. You see? It's big rocks of ice that will start falling out the sky. And yeah, the south will have a problem with that. big blocks of ice. Also, the plasma that was confined above the firmament, before melting the firmament, without an electromagnetic field, that plasma is going to start touching the Earth. So basically, where it touches is going to fry completely. Everything that is touched by plasma is going to fry. And he has a couple of videos showing that. You have no idea what the plasma is, you know. It simply fries everything. The plasma will be hunting for conductive stuff. So all the cities will fry immediately. The cities will fry. And he's saying, well, we have to, people might say, well, we have to have faith and to believe in God and to pray and everything. People might say that, but he's saying for you to get on the Bible, read the Bible. And see if God likes people all in top of each other in cities. See if God likes that, you know, if you read the Bible and you come to that conclusion, then live yourself in the city. But if you think that is not written in the Bible and God doesn't want people in the Bible like in top of each other, you might want to consider to leave the city. And it's just saying. He says it's very clear in the Bible that God doesn't like people in cities. Doesn't like that. So if you live in the city and you pray and you ask for help, I don't think it works a lot, because I don't think he's going to attend you, because he doesn't want you to be there in the first place. That's what he's saying. So the plasma is attracted by conductivity. It reacts a lot to magnetic fields. And places of a lot of energy are going to be touched by the plasma. Every single city. He says nothing is going to hold that plasma attack in the city. Nothing. Every warship, planes, everything that consumes a lot of energy is gone. And now he had separated a few videos about plasma. And by the way, try to find those videos on YouTube. Try to find them. He's saying that we already have a problem in the magnetic field, and we already are having little snippets of plasma going in. That's what he says is going on right now. Very, very tiny little quantities of plasma going in, but they still, those small amounts of plasma, they still do some amazing stuff. It's very rare and very small, almost zero. Just a bit. And he's putting some videos, and guys, this is, look at this one. So this is, I'm trying to put it as best as I can. Just a minute. Okay, you should be able to see better now. This is in São Paulo, Brazil, and this is the plasma traveling the transmission lines. It's just crazy. Look. I never seen nothing like this. Nothing. They say it's a short circuit, but look at how the thing is traveling through the transmission line, and notice the blue light. That's very characteristic of plasma thing. Look, it split it in two. It was going in one, but now it caught up in here also. Look what happens. Still going on there and here. Traveling slowly through the transmission lines, and now look, it entered the house, it exploded the house. Look, this is just crazy. I'm going to put it back for you to see. So it's traveling, then it stops, goes into the house. Look at this house here, okay? It's going to explode, literally. And it's gone. That one is gone, and it's still traveling by the others, and a lot of houses around are exploding. You know? This is just a bit of plasma being transmitted by a conductive line, power line. It pretty much blows up everything. So yeah. Another one. So this was in two American states in the same day. So a discharge of plasma. It's just crazy. It's exactly the same team. The plasma just being propagated by the transmission hub power lines, and keeps on going. You know, as long as there is a line. Another one in New York, and notice the same tone of blue. This is the same thing, the same light. They say it's a short circuit. They say it's a short circuit that went wrong, you know. This is not a short circuit. Another one. Venezuela. This is just a picture. In his point of view, is also plasma. Well, in this one you don't see the plasma, you just see the burning. But this can be anything. He's just he's saying that he's being paranoid, and to him this is plasma because this is a central of energy, an energy power supply. Yeah, everything he sees is plasma now. He admits to be paranoid. Oh, this is the California firings. And this is a very nice story. A big disgrace in California. So the power line companies, they asked the insurance to step in and help them because, well, all the power lines, and all the poles, they were all burned with those fires. But after deep investigation, the insurance company came to the conclusion that the burnings, the fire, were caused by the power lines. No, and now they are asking the power line companies to pay the insurance companies, so the insurance companies can pay to the landlords of the houses, of all the houses that were destroyed there. But have in mind, this fire burning, this was caused by the power lines. That was investigated and concluded. It was the power lines. Now, how do the power lines do something like this? Unless there is plasma, traveling in there. Yeah. The power lines, basically, they put fire in every single forest. Not only in the forests, but in the houses. It was the power lines. So, question: did you ever saw a fire being a fire of this dimension? Like being caused by transmission lines? Yeah, maybe the plasma entered the transmission lines and start just traveling around. He says that is the most plausible explanation. Ohio, 2018. Yeah, those are the places in the map or where all these phenomena happen in the United States. So answering the question, what is the plasma? He did a video specifically about plasma in the Patreon channel. Have you ever seen those balls that people have to sell that generate a few sparks of plasma outside the ball to the edge of the ball? Those sparks are the plasma. We will see that plasma coming to the ground because it's attracted to the ground because there is no electromagnetic field. So he thinks that this phenomena, this plasma phenomena, was interpreted by the Greeks as being the Medusa, which I saw some depictions of the Medusa by the Greeks. Look, it's like this, something like this. And he feels that all those things going on in the head of the Medusa are more like the plasma rays. That's how they depict it. But yeah, it's his opinion. I'm quite good with it. Makes sense. He also thinks that if you look at the source of plasma, you are going to be petrified. You are going to become a rock. You know, just and we have a lot of evidence of petrified stuff all over the world. So this also doesn't surprise me at all. From trees to human life to animals to the amount of stuff petrified is just mind blowing when you start looking into that. Okay, giants. It's just so much stuff. Yeah. He says that you cannot look into the eyes of the Medusa, whatever that means. I don't really know what that means. But to me, that means maybe looking to the sky directly into the plasma. Maybe you cannot do that. So, resuming the how things are going to happen. So, So, floods in the north, but you still have the dome. It's just punctured. Water is coming in. There will be a huge release of pressure under the dome. So he's still saying the same. So the water will go in, through the hole in the firmament, which is in the north. It's going to be flooding the north. There will be a huge release of pressure out of our pressurized system, because you will not have a magnetic field, by that time. And yeah, so a lot of people, some things and some people will be floating around, because you have no electromagnetic field, and that will be a problem also. Everything that is floating will only come down when the electromagnetic field is in place again. Everything that went up, then it will come down again. So basically, protect yourself, stay in your house if you have a safe house to be, blah blah blah. Things are going up and coming down by that moment. Yeah, he's saying he's still pointing people to the flat earth model, his video of the flat earth model, because if you are seeing all this without understanding the flat earth model as he describes it, not the random flat earth model, the random flat earth model that we all know from the flat earth thing, it just doesn't give many answers, and this model pretty much answers everything. That's why it's so important to get into it. Is even answering why this flat earth information is being released, and why the flood and the mud flood information is being released. Everything that we know is being released by them, because somehow they have to tell us about this stuff. It has to do. They don't want to kill everyone because they need us. So yeah, okay, let's go on. So this is the South Atlantic magnetic anomaly, and it's very known by science. It's basically the place of the plane where the magnetic field is the weakest possible is here. South America, basically. Brazil. Brazil, I don't know. Every pretty much every South American country is under this weakness. So this is 2018 between 6 and 13 of September. Take a look of how many typhoons were there in the same week. 9. One of them has beaten the record of wind flowing. Okay, the velocity of wind, 332 kilometers per hour wind. That's a record. It was in 2018. There was no no place to classify this kind of typhoon. It had to open another its own level to be classified in. All in a week. Oh, Afonso, that means the global warming is true. No, that's nothing to do with global warming. Because in the United States it's a terrible, terrible, cold. It's really freezing. Oh, Afonso, that means the global colding is true. No, has nothing to do with global things. The sun is getting concentrated. Every year it gets more concentrated because we are losing the magnetic field step by step by step. So that focal point of light is getting closer to the Earth. That's what's happening. Okay? So when it gets closer, it gets warmer in the place that is under the sun. But also in the other places, all over the rest of the plane, it's colder because the sun is more focused in one spot than in everything. So as the electromagnetic field slows down, the plasma is getting closer to the firmament. The sun, as a consequence, because the sun is a reflection of the plasma through the firmament, is also getting down, and that causes this global warming that we are having, which is not a global warming, it's the plasma getting closer. Okay? Yeah. I just resumed everything he's saying now. Yeah. When the summer comes in the north hemisphere, is going to be hotter than usual in the sun in the northern hemisphere, and colder than usual in the southern hemisphere. Yeah. So those variations that are happening now in the sun and making things too hot or too cold have massive influence in the crops, you know, and there will be probably there will be scarcity of food just before this event. Yeah, he's saying the same, that all these temperature variations are not good for the crops. So, yeah. Unsafe places now. Before talking about dates, unsafe places. Cities, forget it. You don't want to be in cities. Because the plasma will come from for the transmission lines, so everything will be destroyed. Is saying the chance of survival in cities will be next to zero. Now forests. When the plasma comes down, it will not be heading to forests, you know. It's mainly looking for conductive stuff, okay? But still, the forests are combustible, you know. They burn. If a fire starts in any place of the forest, well, I think that depends if it has transmission lines all over it or not. If it has, that might be a problem. Yeah. But he's saying that if it starts in one place, it's probably is going to spread out. So you don't want to be hanging around next to such a combustible kind of place, you know. The higher the wood, the higher the fire, the bigger the fire. So yeah, and he's saying California was already a good demonstration of how terrible that can be. So basically, he's saying that if the plasma touches the floor in the forest is also not a good place to be, you know, because too much combustible around. Now, so we have talked about cities, about forests. Now, next to the coast regions. How do we say that? Yeah, just sea coastlines, places like that. Uh, Coastlines, you don't want to be in coastlines. It's going to be dangerous. There will be tsunamis and stuff, you know. So you want to be far away from the coast, far away. So it's difficult now. It's difficult. We eliminated those three, so now it's difficult to choose a place, isn't it? I would be in the forest probably. You know, dealing with whatever. Yeah, but probably in the probably in the top of a mountain or something like that with minimal forest around. Yeah, that would be my pick. Question. It's written there. Where? Huh? Okay, no. He's just recapping everything, basically, that we have just said. So he's saying that when Pedro Álvares Cabral went into Brazil, and there were Indians there, so there were groups here, groups there, randomly spread out by the land, and there were not too many for the space of a continent, you know. And he's saying that those were families that back in the day they survived the event. You know, it's not huge populations. It's just families, groups of people. You know, and that end up they were in good places probably, and they end up surviving all this shit, and that's why you still have them. You know, but you don't have a full civilization and stuff like that. You know, you don't have them anymore. Like where are the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Incas? Where are those people? You know, no track of them. We don't know where are they. So he's saying the best place to be is in a rock kind of structure, you know, which is a very rare thing to find. Yeah. Everyone has to think about that. He also has to think. He has the same problem as everyone else. Another question that people are trying to answer in this model is the Antichrist. Will he coming before or after the event? He says that he has absolutely no conclusion on that yet. If the Antichrist arrives after the event, he's saying, so he will be the guy who will be helping everyone, yeah? very probably people will sell out to him because he's like a savior. He's like because you will not have anything, and at some point a guy comes with and gives you everything back again. You know, like your TV and your internet and your cell phone and your stuff. You will be thankful for life, isn't it? So we will be probably you will be very fond of that kind of guy that just solved all your problems. Wait for it. He's saying that when the magnetic field of the Earth opens, also there are easy conditions to have portals between between worlds. Let's say, let's put it like that. There are maps talking about the lands behind Antarctica. He's saying that the dome of the Earth, the firmament, ends up in Antarctica. How do we have lands after Antarctica? When the dome collapses, when those events happen, so when those events happen, there will be an opening because we will have no dome for a while, you know. And also he's saying that this dome that we will have collapsing this time is very heavy because this event is supposed to happen much more frequently and is being held for a lot of time. So the dome, the sheet of ice, basically, that constitutes the dome, is very heavy this time. It's going to collapse. He says that not always it collapses, but this time will collapse for sure. There are records of ancient people that when this kind of event happens, they see reflections of the other worlds outside our dome. Just that is just recordings from other cultures. He says that in other domes there are like angels and stuff like that. So when the magnetic field and the dome falls out, it's when you have an open space for transitions between worlds. He's saying from the other worlds to this world and the other way around. You also don't have any magnetic field in the bottom, so portals can be opened and stuff like that. He's talking about that. The other thing is saying that is that if the Antichrist comes after the event, all these things that they are doing, like the 5G antennas and all the technologies that they are implementing to monitor people, they don't make much sense. So he thinks that he's going to come earlier, before the event. And this event is going to be the Judgment Day. Question: how many days lasts the inversion of the magnetic fields? So this reversion, how many days it will last? There is an answer for this. 7 days. 7 days. 7 days. If we go for traditional geologist, geophysicist kind of thing, this reversion takes a few years to happen. Lasts for a few years. But the thing is, they talk in millions of years for things that we know they are hundreds of years. So everything in terms of time scale must be downsized, you know. So this guy is saying 7 days, you know. Basically, he's saying that the equinox, the sun is traveling south. Okay, the sun is traveling south till the equinox, and then it stops for 3 days, and on the 25th, it must start traveling north again, isn't it? So those days are your time to figure out if the reversion is going to be in that year or not. Okay, because you want to see the sun coming back north again. That means that the reversion is not going to happen. Now, if in the 21st the equinox comes and on the 22nd the sun still is traveling to south, that's when it's coming. That's when it's going to happen. Okay, because it should stop. It should stop and not travel more. And I just said things that he's not saying here, but it's because I've seen a lot of his videos, so I kind of know how his model works, so I'm just letting you know. Then there are two kinds of people, okay? There are people that believe that this event is going to happen in September. And this also makes sense because the Ethiopian calendar starts the New Year's Eve is in 11th of September. Do you recognize that date from somewhere? Yeah, Ethiopian New Year's Eve, 11th of September. So there are people thinking that because people know all through times that this event comes just before the New Year's Eve. Okay, so we have that New Year's Eve and our traditional New Year's Eve. We believe is in our New Year's Eve because it's when it's astrologically logical. The sun stops in the sky. you know, and start. It's the winter equinox in the 21st of December. So
Principalmente geólogo fala sobre até bola de bilhões de anos. Ele acha que vai acontecer em 2046 em setembro. Eu vou comprar o livro dele para tentar entender.
there is a geologist, a baller, that thinks that's going to happen in 2046 in September. I have no idea why.
Mas
He's saying that he's going to buy his book to understand what he's saying.
ele acha isso. E o pessoal que trabalhou nesse modelo aqui acredita
No.
que está iminente vai acontecer.
The people that are into this model, they believe it's imminent. It's about to happen. It's going to happen anytime.
Agora, e que vai começar no Natal.
And it always starts in Christmas.
Por quê? Porque esse modelo foi baseado nesse fora. O pessoal tem todos os dados, todas as culturas pagãs do mundo e falava o seguinte: o que os pagãos.
And this data is basically collecting all the data from all the pagan cultures all over the earth, all over the world. And yeah.
Não eram deuses. O que os pagãos viram, os costumes deles, eles usaram para registrar coisas para a posteridade.
So all this god stuff and all their costumes are just recording things through to stand over time for the future, you know, record things for the future, basically, their cultures.
Conforme passa os anos, os pagãos eles vão fazendo merda.
As the years go by, the pagans, they just start fucking up with it.
Mas se a gente regredir no tempo,
But if we regress in time
para fazer aquela interpretação idiota,
to do those interpretations of the events,
que aconteceu.
it was something that happened.
Para tentar entender o que o pagão viu.
So we kind of have to travel in time to try to understand what the pagan saw.
Por que o pagão colocava suas luzinhas, enfeitava a árvore de Natal em dezembro?
Why do the pagan put those lights in the Christmas tree in December?
Dia lá 25 de dezembro. Não é o aniversário de Jesus, todo mundo sabe.
That is not the birth of Jesus. Everyone knows that.
Por quê? Porque eles observavam assim, solstício de inverno, dia 21 de dezembro de 22, a duração do dia estava caindo, chega o solstício de inverno, ela para.
So yeah, he's saying this now. The length of the days is dropping until the equinox, okay, 21st of December.
Depois ela vai voltar a subir, certo?
Then it's going to start rising again, okay? So the shortest day of the year will be the winter equinox, which is the 21st of December. Then the duration of the days must start climbing up again.
A duração do dia vai voltar a subir, vai sair do inverno, aqui no hemisfério norte.
We are going to get out of winter and days will become bigger.
Passou dia 21, 22, 23, ela continuar descendo.
So if in the 22, 23rd, 24th, the days are still going short, then we have a problem.
A duração do dia não aumentar de novo, ela começar a continuar diminuindo.
It must start rising, the length of the days.
Aí o que acontece? Eles se preparam para o dia 25 de dezembro. E aí eles têm 7 dias.
So, what? Sorry.
Continuar diminuindo é sinal de aquele ano é um ano da inversão. Aí o que acontece?
So I was saying that yeah, if the sun doesn't start moving the other way around, you know, that's the sign that the reversion is coming. So you
Eles se preparam para o dia 25 de dezembro. E aí eles têm 7 dias.
so in the 25th of December, you must know, and you have 7 days of it.
6, 7, 8, 9, 30,
which is that from the 25th till the 31. Okay, that's 7 days. And the New Year's Eve starts in the 1st of January after all the shit that happened. Okay, a new year is coming to basically start everything from the beginning. So we can completely ignore the pagan cultures, or we can think as what did the pagans saw, as natural events that can help us figure out what is going on, because they have been through this many times. So what is recorded in their culture that means this? What natural phenomena? We still can save something from his culture, from their culture. So the guys that believe this model, they know that it's going to happen in the 25th of December of some year. It's going to survive a lot of people, but at the same time, there's not a lot of people. I would say. I think I've seen him saying like at least 2/3 of the population will die in this event. Because let's think about it. People are in cities, most of them. Those are gone, So, yeah. Yeah, we have been all through this. He's describing the model and how the sun works and why it's getting warmer. So when the sun is in the Tropic of Capricorn, Brazil, South Africa, Australia, it's going to get into the Tropic of Cancer in the that will be our summer in Europe when it's in the Tropic of Cancer. So that black line in there, just inside the Tropic of Cancer, is the 33rd degree, which is the safe zone, remember? This model was built based on pagan cultures. Okay, we are not absorbing paganism, we are just trying to figure out what did they saw back in the day. So remember, degree 33 plus or minus 5 to 8 degrees. That's the safe stripe. That stripe is compatible with the most ancient civilizations of the world.
Compatível, por exemplo, o Japão está quase inteiro nessa faixa.
Japan is almost fully in this stripe. So Japan, guys, even with tsunamis and earthquakes and stuff like that, they are still good because they have ancient cultures, you know. So yeah, you cannot compare a country like Brazil that has a culture with like 200 years or something like that, and yeah, people don't understand. People from Brazil don't understand why people live in Japan. You know, when with all those earthquakes and tsunamis and stuff like that. And he's just saying, so the guy that has a culture with 200 years is asking the guy that has a culture that is there for millennia, you know, and he's asking why does he live there? Well, I think those lengths of time kind of explain it, isn't it? That means that the whole civilization was not wiped out ever in the last millennia. So what is the safest, Japan or Brazil? That trap. That's the south hemisphere. Australia, Brazil, New Zealand, South Africa. The only reason people are there is because they need the controllers of this world. They need us to take all the riches from those places, basically. You know, gold and diamonds and oil and basically all the raw products you can imagine. They come from places like that. So we need to have people living there. What? Yeah, so the controllers of this world would never convince anyone going to places like this, like Brazil, South Africa, South America, New Zealand. You would never convince people to go if they knew that this was a death trap, you know. Oh, this is just a land that we just found, and there's no one there, so we can go and colonize it. We got lucky. Why do you think England used to send the prisoners to Australia? That's how it was colonized, by the way. And they say those prisoners they built those magnificent buildings, you know, which they didn't, of course, you know, and it's just stupid. So we are going to send the prisoners from this little island, which is the UK, to that big island. Yeah, instead of taking the island for myself, I just put my prisoners there. Yeah, that's beautiful. Do you really think that the guys that control this world, they are dumb? No. They are building cities in China in the same latitude of Israel because they are dumb.
bobos. Ou talvez é o mundo já não é drogado, né? Ou talvez é de se pensar que eles sabem o que eles estão fazendo.
Maybe they know what they are doing.
É bom ficar atento para essa questão do campo magnético da Terra. É bom ficar atento para desenho.
It's good to be awake to this question of the magnetic fields of the Earth. It's good to be awake for December. If the days are going shorter after the spring, after the equinox, after the winter solstice, you gotta know, you gotta see, you gotta know if the sun is traveling back north, okay? If the days keep going short after the 21st of December, then we will know that is the year of the reversion. And from the 25th to the 31, prepare yourself. You gotta be ready. In those days there will be no day or night, because there will be no dome. There will be no sun. Okay, there will only be days of red sky. That's it. No day, no night. To a lot of people, he's going to share the links of Patreon and stuff like that if people want to subscribe. Yeah, if you are seeing this video, it's because you don't understand Portuguese, so it doesn't make much sense to subscribe to the guy. Only if you want to support him, you know, of course. I will still put the links of both this video and his YouTube channel and his Patreon stuff under my video. Yeah, just in case you want to support the guy. So Patreon is good because he's discussing a lot of stuff that is not allowed, you know, to be discussing here. So his channel will be banned in a heartbeat. It will be banned in a heartbeat if he was talking of these sensitive subjects, you know. Pretty much everything that is related with this gets banned. It's you know. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway, this video has yeah, that was the video, guys. End of times and the reversion of the magnetic field. This guy is Afonso. He's a PhD in geophysics. You know, and this is a seismologist. As his job is well, now he's not a seismologist. Not he's still a seismologist, but he now has his own company. It's a different ball game now. Still, this guy is a genius, and he puts everything together as a master, man. And you gotta be humble, and you gotta recognize when there is knowledge to be taken, you know. And yeah, this is only one of the videos, and it's kind of the resume of everything he's saying in Patreon for 40 videos now or something like that. And yeah, it's a lot of compiling evidence, you know, with backed up by science, by the way. Showing up that things really work like this. This reversion cycle from time to time, an average of 300 years. In average, it takes 300 years for the poles to reverse. And that puts everything together, man, with the giant trees and with Tartaria and the wiped out of the civilization of Tartaria, and with having buildings all over Australia and all over, pretty much all over the world that we don't have people there. So how are those buildings there? Yeah, because people were wiped out. They didn't survive the reversion of the magnetic poles because this happens from time to time, and all those people they are just killed. They have no chance, especially if they don't know that it's coming. So yeah, there is a safe stripe in this plane we live. That safe stripe is the parallel 33 plus or minus 5 to 8 degrees. Okay, it's pretty much all the countries that are in war right now. Includes Portugal, includes Spain, includes Italy. Those are not in war, but yeah, they have very economical difficult situations, and people don't hang around too much, so they still migrate to better countries like the UK, the Germany, stuff like that. So they end up, yeah, getting out of their country. So this is a mass immigration being kind of designed for you, maybe to clear that safe area that they want for them, you know. Also you have the China building cities in those same latitudes, and not for a second I believe that those cities are just for to demolish, If you see the magnitude of those cities, it's just stupid. It's just like having, like, let's say London, in parallel 34, and no one lives there. Can you imagine that? No, no, you don't do something like that to destroy. No, you do that because at some point in time you wanna put people there. That will be your place to put people. And this is no coincidence. So anyway, guys, this I've translated this video because yeah, I really think this information is really really interesting and very valuable. Even if you don't take it all in, at least take something in. And yeah, all we can do is to get ready, get ready, get surviving skills. We will need it. Put yourself put yourself lean. Put yourself lean. You will need to run. You will need to run. Do exercise. You might need to climb stuff. You might need to you know to climb some trees. You gotta have the skills. If your body is not ready, you are not ready. You gotta be ready. Everything must be ready. Okay? So just put yourself straight, okay, with life, and chill out. Don't be anxious. This is not to be anxious. This is to get ready. So there's nothing wrong with getting ready to stuff. Even if this event never comes, you are still good if you are ready to do some survival for 7 days in the woods. Okay? It's still good for you. It's still very good to be able to do that. Even to go with the children to the woods for a 7 day camping just out of nature. That will be a useful skill more than anyone has today. Okay? No one does that anymore. People just rely in everything that they buy in the supermarket. People don't even know that they don't need food for 7 days. You don't even have to eat for 7 days. That's how easy it is. 7 days is just nothing, especially to people that have fasted for 40 days. It's nothing. Yeah, you gotta be, you might be a little low on energy and stuff like that, but still, your body starts enter ketosis and starts providing you with all the energy you need. So you don't even have to eat. If you want to eat, of course, it's better, but you don't have to. You can survive without eating. Anyway, guys, it was a pleasure. See you next time. Bye bye. Enjoy.